Have you ever stood in a moment where your soul felt so distant from the divine that even your prayers felt like echoes in an empty room? Have you ever witnessed light but couldn't see, or heard truth but couldn't listen? What if the Quran is describing not just a people of the past, but a moment in your own life? When Allah speaks in Surah Al-Baqarah verses 17 and 18, He is not merely narrating about the hypocrites of ancient Medina. He is holding up a mirror for every soul that has wandered between light and darkness, every seeker who flickers between remembrance and heedlessness, every heart that has once been lit and then dimmed. Let us walk into these verses not as scholars dissecting a text, but as thirsty hearts gazing into the sacred fire, hoping to be consumed by it. Verse 17. مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا فلما أضاءت ما حوله ذهب الله بنورهم وتركهم في ظلمات لا يبصرون. Their example is like that of one who kindled a fire, but when it lit up all around him, Allah took away their light and left them in darkness, unable to see. Let your heart not rush past this verse. Breathe with it. Feel its metaphor wrap around your soul like a winter's fire that suddenly vanishes into cold darkness. The hypocrite's soul, in the language of the Sufi, is a soul that once flirted with divine illumination. It kindled a fire. Yes, it made an effort. It sought light. It may have even walked in remembrance, chanted the name, stood in prayer, fasted in daylight. But this fire, it was kindled with borrowed wood. Not sincerity, not surrender. It wasn't the fire of love. It was the fire of appearances. فَلَمَّا أَضَاءَتْ مَا حَوْلَهُ, when it lit up all around him. For a moment, everything seemed illuminated. The world looked clearer. Guidance appeared reachable. The heart may have even trembled, but the light did not seep into the heart. It only lit the outside, their surroundings, not their depths. Then, ذَهَبَ اللَّهُ بِنُورِهِمْ. Allah took away their light. This is not the light of fire. This is nur, divine light. That inner illumination which only Allah gives and Allah takes. It's not man-made. It cannot be faked. This moment is terrifying because to lose Allah's light is not like losing a candle. It's like losing your very sense of direction, your very sight, your very sense of being. وَتَرَكَهُمْ فِي ظُلُمَاتٍ. And He left them in darkness. Not just one darkness, plural, dhulumat. Darkness of doubt, darkness of arrogance, darkness of spiritual blindness, darkness of the self, nafs, darkness of forgetting your own soul. The Sufis teach, the worst veil between you and Allah is not sin. It's the illusion of light without inner truth. It's to stand near the fire, yet remain cold inside. La yubsirun, unable to see. Not physically blind, but spiritually blind. The eyes work, but the heart does not. The outer senses are alive, but the inner perception is dead. Let us pause and ask, has my heart ever felt like this? Have I ever felt like I was praying, fasting, remembering but not seeing? Have I walked in darkness thinking I was in light? This verse whispers, beware of kindling a fire that is not fed by the oil of sincerity. Verse 18, Summun bukmun umyun fahum la yarji'un. Deaf, dumb, and blind, so they will not return. This verse is thunder after silence. Summun, deaf, not to sound but to truth. The divine call echoes all around them. Through the Quran, through nature, through love, through pain. But they no longer hear it. Not because it's silent, but because the soul has closed its ears. How many times does Allah call you through your heartbreak? Through a loss? Through a silent moment? And yet, if the heart is deaf, even thunder is mute. Bukmun, mot. The tongue is still, but not in surrender. It is mute in remembrance. It does not call out, does not cry, does not chant Ya Allah with meaning. Even if the tongue moves, the soul is silent. In the Sufi path, the greatest speech is not eloquence. It is zikr, the sacred repetition of His name, spoken not just with tongue, but heart. But the hypocrite's heart is dry. His zikr is empty. His silence is not divine. It is dead. Rumi blind. Blind not to creation, but to the creator within creation. He sees trees, but not the one who made them. He sees people, but not souls. He sees pain, but not its purpose. He sees the Quran, but not the light in its verses. His sight is robbed of meaning, eyes open, soul shut. Fahum la yarji'un, so they will not return. And this is the most tragic part. The road back to Allah is open to every sinner, every broken soul, every weary traveler, except to the one who refuses to walk. This verse doesn't say they can't. It says they won't. The spiritual paralysis of hypocrisy is not lack of access, but lack of will. In the Sufi lens, this is not just a condemnation. It is a warning, a sorrow, a divine plea for awakening. Do not become numb to the call. Do not become so far that you forget the road back. A personal mirror. Pause for a moment, dear soul. Reflect. Have I ever lit a fire of good deeds only for it to die out in ego? Have I ever walked in light, but lost it due to heedlessness? Have I ever heard the Quran, but not listened? Have I ever become blind to the beauty around me? The beauty of these verses is that they don't just condemn, they warn, they awaken, they remind, they invite you back. Allah paints a terrifying picture, not to push you away, but to make you run back to Him before your light goes out. Final reflections. The Sufis say, the heart that is far from God is not dead, it is just asleep. But beware, for sleep can turn to death, unless you awaken. Surah Al-Baqarah verses 17 and 18 are not simply about hypocrisy. They are about the tragedy of spiritual numbness. They are about the soul that saw truth, but didn't surrender to it. Let this not be us. Let us not be the ones who kindle fire only to lose it. Let us not see, but not perceive, hear, but not respond. Be close, but never arrive. Dear seeker, your soul was not made for darkness. You were not created to stumble in confusion. The light you once saw, it can return. The fire you once felt, it can be reignited. But you must feed it with sincerity, with remembrance, with surrender. So tonight, find a moment of silence. No phone, no noise, just your heart in Allah. Whisper His name. Even if it feels dry, call out to Him. Even if you feel far, kindle the fire again, with love, not show. And as the great Sufi master Rumi said, don't you know yet? It is your light that lights the worlds. Let it burn again.